All right, let's do it. Joining me now, Congressman Tim Burchett. Welcome back to the Alec Lace Show.
Thanks for having me on, brother. It's a pleasure. I got a dog in the background, so if you hear anybody whining, it's not me, it's my dog.
You got a dog in the background. You got your Senator Fetterman collection sweatshirt on. You ready to go?
I'm armed and dangerous. Let's roll, brother.
All right. Well, listen, President Donald Trump praised you this week. You've been hitting it on all cylinders. It seems like you're on fire this week. But the truth is, let's see if you agree with me here. It seems like, in my opinion, we're in like the 2-minute warning here. The Democrats are trying to run the clock out to the midterms, and they've been largely successful because we've gotten largely nothing done in the first 1 year of President Donald Trump's second term here. What's your take?
Yeah, I agree with that. We just out of tradition, Congress never really does a whole lot of anything. They write a lot of tough letters and pat themselves on the back. But I think what we ought to do is attack all those executive orders that President Trump has very courageously put forward. And I think he understood the fact that Congress would probably do very little, and that's why he needed them done. I've got 20 or so out there in bill form, and I haven't heard a peep out of them. You've got the problem with is the system, brother. It's not Republicans, Democrats. You've got these committees that are huge, and you'll have 50 staffers, and then you'll have a lobbyist who's got their ear. And if you notice, we do a lot of studies. If you read what bills are, they're going to do a study on this, report back to Congress. How that works is, say I've got a great bill that needs to pass. My bill to defund the Taliban, for instance. It's taken me over a year to get to the Senate. We passed it finally, but I have another bill that just says that we can't sell our genetic information to the Chinese. You do these, you want to check your ancestry, so you get subscribed to this service, and they send you this thing, and you take a little swab, and you swab it in your mouth, and you send it off, and you find out, you're related to the King of England or something. Nobody's ever related to any horse thieves or anything, but I guess you check the Burchett genealogy, it'd go back to some good old horse thieves. But so I'm trying to get this thing passed, but I can't even get a hearing on it. I can't get the bill up in committee. I can't do anything. So, you go to the committee, and then you talk to this staff person. The staff person says, "Gosh, Congressman, this is a great piece of legislation, but here's what we'd like to do. We'd like to study it for a year, and then we'll come back to a report to Congress." And what's happened is some lobbyist has their ears, bought them a drink, steak dinner, sent them on some trip somewhere, probably. You can't ever prove it, but disprove it is what I'd tell you to do. And then they got and they say, "Well, look, we'll pass this. You can go home and it'll have the same name, the Save the Children bill or whatever, but it's not saving any children. And we'll study it." And that final scene in Raiders of the Lost Ark, where they go into that warehouse, and it just keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger. That's where all those studies go. I've been in Congress almost 8 years, brother, and I've never seen a single dadgum study. Yet every day we vote for something. We're going to study it. We're going to study it. We're going to study it. And it's crooked and it's wrong. And that's why nothing gets done and nobody's paying attention. And you have these chairmen who come in guns blazing, new chairmen. And what do? They keep over half of the original staffers from the last person, partly because it's just so big and it's just overwhelming. What we ought to do is just fire everybody every year, or every start of every new Congress, and they have to rehire them, so that at least they get an interview and you find out what the heck they do. They're back there in some cubicle somewhere, and their portion of their job takes care of that certain type of legislation, and that's where the bottleneck is every time.
It's true, Congressman, and just the people on the street out here, we know that it's all bullshit. We know that. I mean, we're not fooling anybody. This is why a lot of people don't even get involved in politics. They don't want to vote because they know that the deck is stacked against them. And it's just sad to see. And you're talking about getting some President Donald Trump's executive orders. Nothing's been done. Nothing's been codified. So many congressmen have said it. Let's codify Trump's executive orders. It's never been done. It's a year in. We don't have any of the election integrity stuff done. I mean, that should have been done the second week he was the president. Voter ID, same-day voting, paper ballots. None of that got accomplished yet. We're a year in.
Yeah, and you sit there and go to conference and you yell at leadership and they all nod in agreement. And then it's on to the next one. Everybody in Congress is worried about getting back to Congress, preserving their little seat. And I swear to you, we maybe have 435 members of Congress, maybe 434 of them see an avenue for them to become speaker. I'm one that sees no avenue. I don't kiss enough butt. I don't raise enough money, and I don't want to be speaker. I wouldn't want that job for all the tea in China right now. But the truth is when you're speaker, the decks are stacked against you. You come in there and it's just we need a house cleaning, literally, both
Yeah,
parties.
house cleaning too. It's some of these things that people have been calling for years, like term limits. That's never seems to be in the cards. It's no insider trading, no Congress people allowed to make trades. That seems like another no-brainer. If it was put to a vote and the people could make the choice, those two things would be done immediately. Term limits got to be on there, and the fact that you're allowed to trade stocks, those two things would be no-brainers. But Congress is never going to police itself in that way.
No, it's funny. I make skateboards. I made one for Tulsi Gabbard. Now everybody in the country wants them. I've even done some videos on them. During the shutdown.
I've seen them.
Yeah, during the shutdown, I probably got 15 or so in waiting. I go talk to the people, the cat at ethics, and they tell me, "Oh, you got to do this, you got to do that. It can't be in your name. It can't be direct, whatever." And I said, "But I can. But if I want to do insider stock trading, that's okay, right?" Yeah. And they go, "Well, yeah." And so that's what we're up against, brother. It is just. I talked to Roger Williams, a fine congressman from Texas, and he chairs, I believe, the Small Business Committee now. I was telling Roger what we ought to do. People just want disclosure. They don't. They would just want to know where the money comes from. So what we ought to do is allow people to have businesses if they're in Congress, and just report it. Just report where your money's coming from, or how much money you're making, or what have you. Instead, no, you got a limit. It's some arbitrary number. I don't know, $25,000 or $30,000. It's a pretty good chunk of money. But you figure a guy's a surgeon and he's going to do one operation a weekend. I mean, that surpasses that. I just think it stifles productivity, and all America wants is disclosure anyway. Because all they've done now is created a system where you got to. It looks a little shady. It's okay if I put it in my wife's name, or if I do this or do that, and it's just crooked as a dog's leg, and everybody knows it.
Yeah, and it's supposed to be, you're supposed to be representing the people from the neighborhood. Like, we send a guy up there to represent the neighborhood, and then all of a sudden he's driving around a brand new car. He's got this high lifestyle. He's like, yeah, guys, let me work on that for you. We're still struggling in the soup. And then this guy's got flying all over the country. We're like, what the hell happened to this guy? You're not supposed to go there and get wealthy and rich. You're supposed to go there and represent us and help us out here. And that never says, always seems to get lost. Let me get back to what's going on over there right now. You had Marjorie Taylor Greene now resigning from Congress. This is going to present another problem here, because we got a small majority as it is already. Is there anyone else that you're hearing? We see some of the reporting from the fake news media, so I don't know how true it is. Is there rumblings of other people that are looking to quit over there in Congress? What is the sentiment over there with her ousting?
Well, there always is. You, on average, I think every 2-year cycle, about 20 people get out one way or the other. Either the voters take them out, God takes them out to the grave, or possibly the FBI. But there's always rumblings, and this is just I think it's a fake news deal. They're just trying to stir it up. There's always people that are unhappy, and I heard they're unhappy with Trump because he won't. Some kind of deal where he wouldn't do grant announcements and give them credit for it or something. I don't know. It's just crazy. Just draw up your stupid press release and put a quote in there for Trump. It's pretty easy to do. I just don't get it. I don't get all that. I didn't come to Congress to get, I've been here 8 years, and honestly, I've had a little praise from the president, and I appreciate it. I didn't ask for it. I don't call him every 5 minutes and beg him for something. But I don't get it, brother. Look, more people have played professional baseball than have been in the United States Congress. It's a complete honor. Every day I walk on that House floor or walk up to that Capitol. When I leave every Thursday or Friday to fly back to Tennessee, I look out there and I look at that Capitol and I think, wow, I work there. I don't know why God has blessed me so much with this incredible honor, but He has, I'm just incredibly honored to do it. And people ought to treat it that way. They want their butts kissed, if they don't want to work, we used to have a saying. Old Democrat leader of the House, Jimmy Nafee, who's still alive, he had this saying. He was quoting somebody else, but if you didn't want to work, you shouldn't have hired on. And that's the truth, And you shouldn't be up there just for the praise and the patting on the back. You get that every day. Just walk down the hall, some lobbyist will be kissing your butt, or some staffer will be telling you how great you are. And they're laughing at all your stupid jokes because they have to.
Yeah, and we just want to see some results. And that's why, let me get your take on this, because it feels like after we just seen the indictments get dropped there with Comey and Letitia James, we're seeing the seditious six. They came out telling the military to defy orders. We see maybe we'll get some accountability. Do you think we're falling into the same trap here like the Democrats do? We see the memes like, oh, we're going to get Trump. Honey, get your boyfriend. They got Trump this time. Like they always think they got Trump. It seems like we're kind of falling into that trap. Like, oh, we got Comey. Oh, we got Letitia. We got Fauci. We got this. And then we don't got them. And it just seems like that goes the same way on both sides.
We're a product of our own manifestations, brother. We have what do you expect when we play ball with the Democrats? We're going to do this George W. Bush compromise stuff, and well, this is a moderate Democrat judge. We're going to let them slide. No, the Democrats never let us slide. They've never in the history of their leadership or lack thereof let us slide on anything. When they have the majority, if it's by 1 or 100, they ram it down our throats. And that's what we need to do. We need to realize why we were elected. Congress has got a 3-person majority or less. Donald Trump came in with a huge majority if you look at the national vote. And yet we didn't adopt his agenda. We went back to our own ways, and that's why we're getting kicked in the can right now. And with these judges, of course they're going to do that. They're Clinton appointed judges, they're Obama appointed judges, they're Biden appointed judges. They're liberal quacks. But that's what you get, and that's why we've compromised and allow that. 12% of the population votes. That's what happens. Elections have consequences. I hear people all the time that gripe, call me, and I'll do this, do that, and then. And this one guy, he was supposed to. He said, "I'll cut your field and take your hay if you'll let me." He cut it for free, and he put me off all summer. And then he called me the other day and said, "Yeah, he can't do it." And then he just started railing on Trump. And I know for a fact the guy doesn't vote, but that's where we're at as a nation. 12% of the population votes. This is what we get.
Yeah, and it's terrible. I mean, there is a judicial coup that started day one with Trump with the injunctions. You've never seen anything like it with the other presidents before him. It's injunction after injunction. They're doing everything they can to stop him, and they're succeeding. I mean, they are succeeding in stopping him accomplish his agenda, and that's the game. And just like you said, you hit it on the head, Congressman, because the Democrats go for the jugular. They go right for the throat, and we are over here like, well, we don't want to upset the Democrats. This is why I'm saying we should be nuking the filibuster and jamming this stuff down while we have the ball in our court, because the time is running out. Once, God forbid, the midterms, it flips. That's the end of it. It's going to be one impeachment after another. We know what's coming, and they're not going to say, well, let's play nice. We'll not impeach him this time. They're going right after it the minute they get the helm.
100%. And they'll have an agenda ready. And we should have had an agenda ready right after the shutdown. And I've talked about it, but I didn't get anywhere, obviously. I'm the 435th most powerful member of Congress. I think America listens to what I say, but Congress sure as heck doesn't.
Man, and I know you just joined the Republican Study Committee here. Is that correct now? You're a part of this? And what this is
called? I used to be in it, and I got out of it because I remember they had the commissioner of education coming in, and then they had pro golfer who had ties to some bad actors that were funding his golf courses, and I got mad. They didn't pay no attention to they got a new the congressman who's charged of it now is August Pfluger, and August is a pretty smart cat. I think he's on the fast track. He can raise a ton of money. He's conservative. He's articulate, and he's got a house full of girls, and he's good to his girls. And I think he's got some real quality. Not that any of the past did, but I see his agenda is clearly where this thing was originally started. You know, it was originally started, and then a group of them broke off and formed the Freedom Caucus because it got too moderate. And I think August is bringing it back to the conservative right side of where it should be. And over years, that's just what happens to organizations like that. But I think August is, if he doesn't do it, I'll pull out too. I'll pull out again because I didn't realize it's going to be such big news that I was joining this group. I'm not much of a joiner since I've been in Congress, but they do excellent research and they do things what our conference should be doing.
Well, it's another one of those things where everybody says the right things. We know we have an affordability problem. There's a lot of problems facing young families, new families in the country. So a lot of these, the studies get done and all this other stuff, but it's the results that are going to matter more than anything, especially, new people can't get into homes. And the people that are in the homes, their taxes have gone flying up because the home values are overrated. And now they can't go anywhere. They can't make a move or take any equity out because they can't buy nothing because all the prices went up. It's a mess out here, Congressman. It's a mess for all these people.
It is. I'm trying to get Department of Justice to look at some of the antitrust things. You've got a group of people that are buying up all the homes and they're jacking up the prices, and then they turn around and sell them or put them out for that. And it's to me, it looks like a clear violation of antitrust, and that's what we've got a Department of Justice for. And I'm hoping that they'll take a look at this. I don't know how legislation could fix it, but I think it's already in the law that you can't do this and fluctuate prices the way they've done. And I hope somebody will pay attention to it before it's too late, because you're right. I mean, everybody's becoming apartment dwellers that want to own, and it's the American dream to own property. That's why everybody comes to Tennessee and buys houses sight unseen, because comparatively they're cheaper. And then, I've got a farm, and the day, a month after I bought it, somebody offered me twice what I had in it, just because they wanted to build a subdivision and they could get it cheap and cheaper, I guess you could say.
Yeah, it seems like renters and public housing are the two top things that are taking over right now, and it's we got to turn that around. All right, let me start getting you out of here. Put your future cap on. Look at your Magic 8-Ball or Hayfield. We got the January CR coming up here. Do we see another shutdown? Are we going to be able to avoid another shutdown? Because, like I said, the Democrats are stalling. They had 40 days to stop. Now it's holiday season. Nothing gets done. And then you're going to have this other CR that's coming up at the end of January. Are we going to be able to get it done on time, or are we going to see another shutdown?
I think we're working towards getting it done, but the Democrats want to shut it down. I think they drew back a nub on this last one. They didn't have a clear message, and America saw what they were doing by wanting to provide health care for illegals. And we got to start playing hardball, brother. Again, this compromise stuff we're doing is what's gotten us in trouble. And I would hope that we would wake up and start doing what we were elected to do. I'm tired of trying to get along. I think we need to do this leadership. We got to take this this majority out for a little walk and see how it does, and do something with it this time.
Well, I hope so. I hope they're able to get this thing done. We got Thanksgiving this week. What's your Thanksgiving tradition? What do? You go out in the backyard and kill one of these turkeys and bring it in and defeather it? What's your Thanksgiving tradition here?
It's funny. My old chief of staff, Big Sexy, he got into turkey hunting for 2 years in a row. I think he bought the videos, bought the gun, got all the cool. He could do the turkey calls better than a turkey could, and he never saw a dadgum turkey. And I called him one morning. I said, "Hey, Big Sexy," I said, "me and Kelly are out here on the back porch drinking our coffee." I said, and I think there was 25 turkeys. I said I could hit one with my coffee mug. So I think ours are pets now and our deer. But no, we just go get with family and do the thing. I'm incredibly faithful. I'm thankful. I'm a Christian. I try not. I'm not probably. It probably comes into question due to my job choice. But I'm thankful for Jesus. I'm thankful that He came in this world and saved a dirty sinner like me. And I'm thankful I got my family. I got my girls. I got my brother-in-law, my sister-in-law, and my wife and my daughter. That's my girls. I didn't think I was going to get a family. And I married a beautiful woman, and she let me adopt her little girl. And it's just, I tell everybody I miss diapers, but I'm getting boyfriends full force. There's a line of broken hearts all up and down our street right now. My little girl, she's 18 and she's something else. So I'm just incredibly fortunate. We live in a great country. Men and women fought. You know, my daddy fought, my brother-in-law fought, my uncle died. He's buried over in Europe. You know, they fought to give us this. I'm just incredibly thankful for them. And that's, my daddy prayed one time on an election night when it wasn't going very. It was the night Bill Clinton won. Daddy, you know, the combat World War II veteran, we are electing a draft dodger. And Daddy said, "Let me pray." And he said, "Lord, please don't let us lose our country." And that's continuously my prayer. So thank you, brother. I'm thankful for you as well. Thank you for letting me you let me on early before you were nothing. And now we both kind of risen in stature. So it's always a pleasure coming back on with you. And you're dressed pretty sharp too. I gotta remember that next time.
Yeah, you got the Fetterman look going on over here. I got the first class look. But you're right. We have a lot to be thankful for. People, it's easy to forget when you watch the news and the media. Everything's doom and gloom. There's a lot to be thankful for. A lot of people didn't get this day right here. I'm thankful for it. Thankful for your time. And I'd love to see you back on the show down the line.
Love you, brother. Please pray for our country.